So we got a nice video for y'all today, and it's a big week in the 2K community, of course. We should be getting some gameplay news and breakdown, and of course a trailer to go along with it. So as soon as they drop that, you know I got y'all, and it's not today. It's not the 28th of the 7th. It's the week of July 28th, by the way. So of course, in the next few days, we should be getting some news from 2K, and your boy will keep you all up to date. So make sure you're getting the notification bell unlocked. But until then, we gotta dive into some of the leaks that's been going around the 2K community by reliable sources when it comes to builder changes for NBA 2K26. So of course, we got a few things we gotta dive into. So without further ado, I need y'all to grab yourself that brew and let's get to the video.
If you don't know, it's brutal sim on the scene, wicked and mean. With the next video, one is YouTube thing. We got 2K news and rumors. Don't forget the tutorials and tips. Turn your my player to a bad man and rule the sticks. No matter the mode, record or park, even my career brute will get you a good start. Hit the like button, don't forget the notifications. Comment down below and welcome to the Brute Squad Nation.
So you don't know. Your boy Brutal Sim on the scene, wicked and mean, with a next video for y'all, man. So by now, you know we gotta start the video off the right way. So if you're in the comment section and type first, second, third, know the gang of Brute Squad, I gotta put y'all up there just to show y'all some love, man. Much love, much respect. So NBA 2K26 builder system leaks are pretty much flooding the 2K community right now. And these ain't your regular leaks, by the way, y'all. We talking about no more height restrictions, expanded animation access for multiple heights that we never seen before, and potentially the most game-changing builder we've seen in years. Now, if this holds up, 2K26 could actually return the true, or could be the return of the true demigod. And I ain't just saying this for clickbait purposes, believe it or not, right? Let's lock in and break all this down, and let's talk about what this means for the future of 2K and NBA 2K26 in general. All right, so here what's being reported across the community right now. Multiple reliable sources, like those who've attended Community Day in the past few years and have developer level connections, are actually saying the builder system in NBA 2K26 is getting a massive overhaul. The biggest bombshell is height no longer limits animations. Yeah, I'm not even making that up, y'all. I'm talking about if you're 6'7", 6'8", or 6'9", you could still have access to elite dribble packaging, fast jump shot bases, and contact dunk animations that we never had before. For example, I remember Uncle Demi in one of his most recent videos was saying that 6'6" builds will now have access to standing contact dunks. We haven't seen that in years. I'm talking about animations that was limited to builds that were 6'10" and above. Builds that are below that will now have access to that because of the flexibility with the builder. So now there will be no restrictions. Not necessarily no restrictions, but it will have a little bit more or a lot more flexibility coming towards these animations, which will of course give us way more ability. It does remind me more of NBA 2K20, by the way, which we're gonna dive into. So now let's dive into gameplay impact if these changes actually go live, right? So if everything pans out to the rumors that's been going through the 2K community, let's break this down. Tall guards could actually dominate again, which is what I prefer. You all know me, I love tall guards. I am not necessarily one of the people that enjoy running around with a 6'1" or 5'7" and just left, right all day. So let's say if you're a 6'8" player, can dribble and shoot like a 6'3" guard, you're gonna see more versatility across the board. Whether it's park, rec, pro-am, whatever game mode you play, you will see more builds and more versatility across the board. The next thing we gotta look at how they're gonna balance it out, especially with short guards, because you don't want to eliminate short guards. This is what I've been hearing so far as well. Short guards might actually get more badge boosts to balance things out. But if 2K doesn't get those sliders right, we're gonna have day one demigods again. So balancing might be a huge issue. This also changes the meta completely. Big builds won't be limited to just spot up roles anymore. You could create hybrid guards that can shoot, dribble, slash, and clamp, which is the builds I prefer. Versatility will be king once again. Just like the golden age of 2K builds, if you ask me, NBA 2K20 had so much versatility. I used to go out there with a 6'9" and run point guard in stage. Those were the days. Plus, this will actually make my career Pro-Am and Park way more fun because you'll see real creativity, not just 6'1" PG zigzagging all day and 6'9" playing locks and breaking jumpers because the jumpers are slower than these short builds. And it will just add way more versatility across the platform, in my opinion. So let's rewind for a second and look at how the builder has evolved over the past few years. And I know y'all want me to start at 16 or 15, but I'm starting at peak 2K. In my opinion, is NBA 2K20. I know some of y'all gonna say, no, 15 and 16 and 17, those were the best. But when it comes to metrics, y'all, and in terms of the community having the most fun across the board, man, I know the pandemic had a role to play, but NBA 2K20 and the flexibility it had with builds right there, to me, was peak 2K. So we're gonna start from that. And in NBA 2K20, there wasn't necessarily demigods, but the attributes and your abilities gave you so much flexibility that I was actually able to go out there with a 6'9", 6'7" to 6'9", not necessarily a point guard build, but I was able to run point guard in the stage with that build. I'm talking about playing against comp and still be very good and effective and just cooking up folks back then, right? But then you fast forward to NBA 2K21 and the restrictions came and the limitations came all the way through NBA 2K23. It was really bad in 22 where the small guards ran everything again and it was just a left-right cheese all day. 2K pretty much clamped down and tightened animation locks based on height, and it was just ridiculous. In 24, I saw a small improvement, so 6'6" was actually viable again, but still a lot of restrictions. And then 25 came and they locked it all the way down. And I believe they did that because they was trying to create more space on the floor. Because one of the things they also did was make the court ratio much bigger compared to the smaller builds that was on the floor. So I think one of the top priorities was to create more space, because a lot of people in the 2K community hate the zone defense. Let's call it what it is. But of course that affected other things in different ways. But still, taller builds was very challenging to play with, especially in NBA 2K25. Now in 2K26, it looks like they're actually giving us that freedom back and potentially rebuilding the badge and attribute system from the ground up. If the leaks are actually real, it might mean a complete attribute threshold rework, which is needed, of course, new badge unlock system based on gameplay again, and maybe a more balanced meta across heights and playstyle, which is very important. Balance is key if they're trying to implement a new system with the flexibility that we're hearing throughout these leaks. But let's keep it real, y'all. There's always two sides to this coin, right? There'll always be some pros and some cons. So some pros are we'll actually get the builds we finally want to create. Taller builds will actually be viable again without sacrificing animation, and the game will feel less repetitive, more fun, and more balanced. That's if they get it right. But if they do not, here are some of the cons. If not balanced correctly, we'll actually be back to OP builds running wild and running crazy all over the park, wreck, Pro-Am. A next con is this could also lead to a pay-to-win build early on, especially with VC prices, how crazy they are in 2K games. And this might legitimately kill off shorter builds or guard builds if everyone runs 6'9" ISO guard, which a lot of people in the 2K community might do. So they will have to find a way to balance all these things off to make it make sense, right? So it all sounds good, especially for somebody who like tall guards like me. But I don't want the tall guards to be overpowering that everybody with no skill or no IQ could come and just dominate because they select that tall guard. We need balance with these builds. Although I like tall guards, I still don't want them overpowered. I just want them with some good enough moves so they could compete with the shorter guards at the end of the day. but not have them too overpowering that it would eliminate any use or any need to have shorter guards. So I just want to put this out there. So you know your boy keep his ear to the streets and to the ground, man. I've been on X, of course, what we forming on us Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. Comments in the community has been loud about these leaks. Some are actually pretty hyped, saying, finally, let us make creative builds again. Others are a little cautious, saying, yo, 2K better not fumble this like NBA 2K23 or NBA 2K25 builder. And so I want to hear your opinion. Are you excited about the no height restriction, or is it just gonna break the game again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. You already know, and I might actually start featuring some of your comments in the next video, so y'all can look out for that as well, man. But overall, man, there it is. NBA 2K26 builder system might actually be the biggest change we've seen in years. If these leaks are actually legit, expect some crazy meta. You know, there's always gonna be meta day one. Don't necessarily follow the meta if you really want to learn about the game. That's my advice to y'all, because in my opinion, meta actually restricts your creativity throughout the year. But that's neither here nor there. That's a different conversation for a different time. But you'll see a ton of build videos as well, and hopefully we'll have a better and more balanced system when it comes to the builder for NBA 2K26. So that's all I got for y'all today. You already know your boy, so you know your boy gonna always put y'all up on game and keep y'all up to date on everything in the 2K community. Till next time, how blessed and be safe out there, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. The notification bell is free and key. Peace.